Hello everyone and welcome to a new series on my channel, and we're going to be going through the Make a Website course on Codecademy. I'm going through this because, well, I think that it's a good link to what we've done on HTML and CSS and JavaScript and all of that kind of stuff, and also because we only learned HTML and CSS as like commands. We haven't actually learned to put it all together to make a good website. So yeah. So if you guys actually want me to do another course, do feel free to post that in the comments down below. I don't think that this course is going to take that long of a time, so the course that gets commented the most, even if it's just one comment, is probably going to be the next course that you see. So yeah, so let's get started then. So as we know, all websites use HTML and CSS. If you haven't watched my series, I do recommend watching them. They might help out, but this seems like it's going to be simple, so you can just stay tuned for this as well. After learning both of these languages, you will be ready to build your own website. So HTML, as we've learned before, stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to give websites structure with texts, links, images, and other fundamental elements. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It is used to change the appearance of HTML elements. You can, to make a website, you don't have to use CSS, but CSS is just CSS makes things so much easier if you use it. You don't have to though, so it really depends on preference, but most people will say that using CSS is much better than just using HTML. And if you're using CSS, you kind of have to use HTML, otherwise you can't. CSS doesn't work on its own. Instructions. An individual page of a website is referred to as a web page. A website is just a link of web pages, multiple web pages. Notice the web page in the web browser, so this here, as we can see, not the whole thing, although this whole thing that you're seeing, so the whole video is actually a web page, but we're working on a website, and this here is just a display of an example web page. So notice the web page in the web browser. During this lesson we will explore the HTML elements used to build it. Click next to learn about the anatomy of an HTML element. So if you guys want to watch this video at home, you can, or you don't have to be at home, but yeah, I'm not going to, just in case I get in trouble for copyright and stuff. Moving on. So let's explore the basic anatomy of an HTML element. Line 9 of index.html contains a heading element. So h1, line 9, as you can see here. And what that does is makes like a text box of sorts and puts it on here. Heading just means that it's a heading, so the letters will be bigger in it. Most elements require a closing tag and an opening tag, so the opening tag is this and the closing tag, so this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. They're kind of the same, except for that the closing tag has a / before every text inside it. The website user only sees the content between the opening and closing tags, so then they don't actually see the tags. As you can see, all you can see on here is whatever is in between the tags. And you can see only bike sharing usually in the tab, so if the title was this for this web page, this is where you would see it, where my mouse is moving on the tab. So the website user only sees the content, yep. Note there are several other HTML elements in index.html in addition to the heading element. Don't be alarmed, you probably know what they are if you've watched my other series on HTML and CSS, but yeah, don't be alarmed, we will encounter most of these in more depth during the lesson. So these tags also aren't, so everything in red isn't shown in here, and also these aren't shown in there either, and those are a different thing. We're not going to talk about them right now. So our instructions are then, in index.html, change the text that appears between the heading tags, okay? So, okay, welcome to this new series on make a web, oops, that's not where my quotation marks are. Make a website. There we go. Run. To see the changes applied, that's just in Codecademy, and we can go next. Now let's learn more about the heading element. Headings are frequently used HTML elements. You can think of them like headlines in newspapers. Your eyes may notice headings first because the words are large and bold compared to the other text on the web page. There are 6 heading elements: H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, as you might have guessed. H1 is the largest heading and H6 is the smallest. H6 is even smaller than normal text for some reason. I don't completely know why, but oh well. So instructions use the largest heading, so that's H1, to indicate the name of the website. Okay, H1, and this is the name of the website. /H1, as we learned, to close it. In index.html, so in this tab, as you can see up here, one line below body, type, don't copy paste. Can you actually copy paste? So below the body tag, type that. Oh, you can actually copy paste. You guys type it, okay? I'm just going to set a good example and type it out. H1. Oh, that actually wants us to make this the name of the website. Never mind. And only bike sharing. There we go. If we run it, we should see it appear. There we go. That's good. Use an H3 tag heading to create the tagline for only bike sharing on the next line. So on the line that we're here currently. What I like to do, as I've said a few times before in my other videos, is put the opening and closing tags first and then type any text between them, because otherwise you might forget that you haven't put the closing tag and confusion can happen, and it's not good to be searching through loads of HTML code. Share your pedals with the world with a capital W. Oh, all of them. Pretty much everything has a capital letter. Okay, I'll do that. That looks fine. Click run to preview the changes, and we are good. Notice how the tagline is smaller than the main heading because it's an H3 element. So as you can see, this is smaller than this, even though all I've done is just change the number here, not actually change the font size. Feel free to change the text of the heading and tagline of the website. Nope, that's fine. The web page now has a heading and a tagline. Next, we will add a description of the company. So the HTML paragraph element, P, is used to hold one or more sentences, just like paragraphs in an essay or a book. So you can that's how you do paragraphs. It's pretty much the same as headings, but you change the contents of the crocodile brackets, I think is what they're called, with P's. And you can adjust them, the sizes and fonts and everything later on as we're going to learn. But for now, let's just use them by default. So we have a P tag, an opening P tag, and a closing P tag. We will also learn that some of the tags don't actually have a closing tag, they're a tag on their own. So let's use paragraph element to add the company description. Below the H3 element, add a paragraph element that contains a description of the company. Here's an example. I will just copy this over and paste it. I'm pretty sure that you can put anything you want there, but the important bit was to learn how to use the paragraph tags, not anything else. Click run, and what we're going to see is a change. In the web browser, notice how text enclosed by the P tags is smaller than heading text and is not bold, and is also below it, meaning that it is its own thing. And also what I wanted to do before we end this lesson was show that the other headings are actually smaller than even this text. And if we run it, as you can see, the H6 heading, although it's bold, is still smaller than normal writing. Let's do 5, and I'll do 4, just to show that off. That's, I guess, still slightly smaller. H4 might be the same size, but it's definitely going to be bold instead. Okay, it's very slightly bigger. So if you want that to be in your website, then use different sized headings. Okay, so now that we know that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about this course, or if you really want me to do another course, do feel free to post in the comments down below. I will be taking suggestions and see where we go from there. But until the next lesson, please give me a like, share, subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like it, dislike it, I don't know. Tell me in the comments why you disliked it so that I can improve for next time. But until that next time guys, thank you so much for watching and goodbye.